What's going on YouTube? Matty here with a long-awaited review of the Candito 6-week strength training program. Now the first thing I want to make clear before starting this review is that you might have seen other people review the program before, and this is going to be my opinion and my personal experience. And everyone else might have a different opinion and a different experience based on a variety of factors, some of them being your training experience, how familiar you are with squat, benching, and deadlifting. Are you in a calorie deficit, a calorie surplus? Are you a beginner and intermediate? All of these things are factors to see how you're going to respond to the program, and I'm just sharing my personal experience. So I actually ran this program in a calorie deficit, which is not the smartest thing to do when you're running a strength-based training program, but the reason I did that was because I ran the program about 6.5 weeks before the day of my wedding and before leaving for my honeymoon. So I had a solid 6 weeks to follow some kind of structure. I thought this would be a perfect way to work on the big three, the squat, bench, and the deadlift. I spoke with Candito about it, and it was just a perfect set structure for me leading up to my wedding till I went off on my honeymoon, and I really liked the results that I saw from the program, and it helped me get that frequency in from hitting each muscle group more often and really focusing on these compound lifts. So before I jump into the review of my experience of this program, I should probably introduce who Jonnie Candito is. But I'm sure if you clicked on this video, you know exactly who he is. Jonnie Candito is the owner of Candito Training HQ. You can check out his website and also his very successful YouTube channel where he covers a wide variety of different topics. In addition to that, he is an incredibly successful powerlifter who competes in the IPF and actually just had a meet last year in 2015 and came in silver at Worlds. So very successful powerlifter, knows what he's doing, and put together an incredible program that we're going to talk about right here in this video. One thing I really liked about the program is how it's set up in terms of periodization. So we're going to jump into the Excel template in just a minute to show you how everything's broken down. But to give you a brief overview, in weeks 1 and 2, you're focusing on muscular conditioning. This is your higher rep, higher volume training with slightly less intensity, and these 2 weeks will likely kick your ass, especially if you're not used to higher volume. And it was pretty humbling for me as I started to work through these training sessions and I noticed my fatigue was setting in really quick. So your body will start to get acclimated to it, and that's the purpose of these first 2 weeks, is to get you used to the volume and improve your muscular conditioning and endurance. As we move on to weeks 3 and 4, we slightly reduce training volume and we increase the intensity. So now you're working with heavier weights with less volume, and then you move into week 5, which is where you really start to test your strength, where you're working 90-95% and higher of your 1 rep max with a big reduction in volume. So after you finish your first 5 weeks, you come to week 6 where you have 3 different options. You can go ahead and actually test your 1 rep maxes. You can use the week as a deload, or you can completely skip week 6 and start the cycle over at week 1. So you have a bunch of different options, but let's jump into the Excel template and show you how everything's broken down. All right, so you've downloaded the program, and these are the 2 files you're going to receive. On the left-hand side here, you're getting the Excel spreadsheet, and on the right, you're getting the PDF file, which dives into the methodology of the program, explains everything, talks about the assistance work, and that is something you're definitely going to want to read before beginning. But we're going to get that out of the way for now, and we are going to focus on the Excel spreadsheet first. So here's your 6-week strength training program. You can see it says complete the fields in blue, and Excel will automatically formulate your workouts. Each workout is printable, so you can go ahead and print it from week to week and take it into the gym with you. And this is why I absolutely love this program, because it requires next to no work for you to set up. So the first thing you're going to do is enter the date you're beginning. So let's just say we enter January 19, 2016. You're going to track whether you want to be in kilograms or pounds, and there's a little drop-down menu right here. I'm going with pounds because I'm in America. And then what are your 1 rep maxes for the following lifts? Now, if you don't know this number, you can go ahead and use an estimated 1 rep max calculator, or you can go ahead and test them before beginning this program. But let's just throw in some numbers. Let's throw in 200, 300, 400. Now I'm just making up these random numbers just to show you how the program works. After you set that up, you're going to choose your preferred accessory exercises. Now this is where I suggest reading that PDF file, because that is going to go over some of the other optional exercises you can include if you choose to do so. So you have upper back exercise 1, a horizontal pull with a drop down menu. So you could do dumbbell rows, barbell rows, or machine rows. You have a shoulder exercise. You could do a standing dumbbell overhead press, a seated dumbbell overhead press, military press, and lateral dumbbell raise. And then you have your upper back exercise number 2, which is a vertical pull, where you could do a weighted pull-up, chin-up, or lat pull-down. Now again, there are different movements you can do. You can change up the rep ranges for these, but I would suggest trying to stick to the core of the program as close as possible. Now, here are some additional information you want to know when moving forward. MR just stands for max reps. MR10 is max reps, but no more than 10. Deadlift variation equals stiff leg deadlift, snatch grip deadlift, deficit deadlift, or pause deadlift. And if you fail a required rep, reduce your max by 2.5. So this is the main screen where you're going to input all of your values, and they will automatically be formulated onto these 6 weeks. So when you go into week 1, we talked about muscular conditioning with moderate difficulty. This is what I was telling you about, where the volume is a bit higher, the intensity is a bit lower, and you're going to be doing some squatting, deadlifting, and optional exercises. Now you can go ahead and plug in whatever you want for these, but again, read that PDF file and it will go into more detail for that. And the one thing I want you to notice on this whole spreadsheet is that for your main movements, your squat and deadlift right here, the numbers are already put in place based on your 1 rep max that you entered on the input sheet. So there's no work that you actually have to do. As far as your assistance and accessory movements, this is something that you're going to have to auto-regulate based on your experience, based on how you feel, and you're just going to have to monitor that from week to week. So again, as you can see on your compound lifts, here on Friday, you have your bench press set up. The weight is already plugged in for you, your squats and your deadlifts, and then your bench press down here, and the rest is going to be your assistance work. Then you move into week 2, which is muscular conditioning with hypertrophy. So this is going to be even more volume with a little bit higher difficulty. You can see the squats are set up again for you, and all of your variations and optional exercises you are going to plug in yourself. And that's why there's value to printing this sheet out and bringing it into the gym with you. So you have your 5 days here that you're going to be training. Also, let's take a look right here. So you have a squat, a warm-up, 245 pounds for max reps up to 10. So that means you don't want to do any more than 10. And if you are able to get more than 10 or less than 10, it tells you exactly what to do moving forward. So there is a lot of detail built within this program. You're going to move on to week 3, which is where I mentioned that the intensity is going to get slightly higher and the volume is going to be reduced. So for instance, on this day, you're only squatting and deadlifting. This is where some people might want to incorporate some more volume, but you need to auto-regulate it so it doesn't cut into your performance and recovery. So this is, again, week 3, your linear max OT phase. Then we move into week 4, where we are focusing on heavier weight acclimation as we're getting set up for week 5, which is where we go heavy. And then we hit week 5, which is our high intensity strength phase. So you're going to be squatting and deadlifting with some optionals. You're going to be doing your bench press as a main movement on Thursday, and then a deadlift on Saturday. And again, these days will change depending on when you start the program, but essentially you're lifting 3 times this week, focusing on the squat one day, the bench one day, and the deadlift the next. Then you move on to week 6, which is where you have your options. You can skip it and use your projected 1 rep max and restart this cycle. You can use your projected max for the next cycle and take a deload week, or you could take the 6th week to find your 1 rep max. So you have options on what you want to do, and here is where you want to put in your old 1 rep max, your new 1 rep max, and you can see how much you've increased over the course of the program. So those are the files that will be provided with you upon downloading the 6-week strength training program. So to wrap up my review of my experience, I have to say I absolutely love the program. I love the progress that I saw along the way. I think it was structured very well. And if you guys want to try it out, there is a link in the description box below that will take you right to his website where you could download the Excel file and the PDF for free, which is everything you need in order to run this program. So with that said, there is also a donate button on his website. He put a lot of effort and thought into creating this, and I'm not saying you have to donate, it's completely optional, but if you ran the program for 6 weeks and saw some good results, it's not a bad idea to help him out for putting his time into creating this. So with all of that said, there's one note that I want to leave off with this video, and that is some lifters and trainees feel the need to try and restructure the way a program was written. I'm sure that Jonnie put together this program for a specific reason. The exercises that are included, the exercise order, was all built for a purpose. So don't try and restructure the core and the base of this program. Now, some people might want to incorporate some more higher volume work on the accessory lifts, and that's fine. And I think he does mention that you can listen to your body and see how you respond, but auto-regulating is a very smart move when you're doing the assistance work. And that just means simply listening to how your body is. Don't do too much volume if it starts to interfere with your recovery and your performance. And don't do what I did. Run the program in a calorie surplus and get the most out of it. So I just want to take a second again to thank you, Jonnie Candito, for creating this program. And to everyone who's thinking about running it, again, the link is in the description box below. If you have run it before, please leave a comment down below and let me know what your experience was like with it. And if you're about to run it, good luck. So thanks again, Jonnie. I hope this review helped you guys out, and I will talk to you all in the next video. And that's the video. So thank you guys as always for watching. If you enjoyed it, feel free to click that thumbs up button and share it with other people. And just a heads up that I do have some spots open for my one-on-one online coaching, where I offer macros training, cardio, progress assessment, weekly check-ins, and everything you need to stay on track and hit your goals. So if you're interested in that, you can go ahead and click to apply right here on that screen, or you could simply email me, matty@fuzarofitness.com. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to do so before you go, and I will talk to you all in the next video.